I thought today was a good back and forth practice. Offense, probably had one of its better days. Just had a big emphasis on the passing game. Was able to see guys go out there and be able to work. Protection, different calls. Going against different coverages, seeing guys have to operate out on the perimeter. I thought the quarterbacks did a really nice job. Through the most of the practice. Put the ball in good places. It's good to see. Hit a couple of receivers. Really continue to rise up and be able to go make plays. You like what I'm seeing from a lot of our younger receivers. I think guys are progressing really well. A lot of competition. Got Luane and Jalen back. Deuce was moving around some today too, so definitely great to see those guys back in action. With just a continued push as we're getting installation as guys. You're trying to capitalize on each of those reps that we're getting through spring ball. I mean, you see the confidence, continuing to grow. I thought defensively, we finished with a red zone period, competition, period. I thought the defense did a really good job in their response to how to finish practice. But it was a good back and forth day, and coming off of an extra day's rest, after our goal line practice, and really our last padded, practice before we scrimmage on Saturday. I thought all in all it was a good day for what we needed to see, and I thought there was a couple of really outstanding plays for our defensive backs, creating some takeaways, when they had opportunities. So I mean, it was a lot of good film and good experience.
With a guy like Luane, I'm going to assume, based on things he showed in practice, you guys are hoping he's a big contributor in the fall. Is this time, has he been able to make use of this time, even though he maybe hasn't been available?
Yeah, he's missed the better part of spring, and but one of the things we always challenge guys with him. I mean, you might not be physically available, but you have a chance to go get better, and I think. Our guys and Luane and they understand the importance of that. This game there's going to be times where you're bumped up, bumps and bruises, and whatever the issue might be, and you might not be available, but you're still responsible for the work, and you're still responsible for the understanding, the installations, the adjustments to the variety of different looks. So you have to learn through others, and then yes, I mean reps matter. So I mean it's you get out there and you're able to see how quick they're able to apply the things that they know, and then build from there. But we are expecting big things out of them, and obviously for him to continue to progress and take those steps.
Brenda, you mentioned the secondary making plays. How do you feel like that group's progressed from start to spring to now?
It's been good. I mean, I think that. You got a good amount of competition. You've had some guys that that have been out, some guys that have been able to get back, and just to be able to put themselves within the different concept schemes, coverages, make sure we're continuing to work on on our fits, make sure that we're when we're involved in the run fit, getting down with a purpose and great energy and speed to it, and been bringing physicality when you get there. Obviously, the mix of coverages, whether it's man, the different techniques, the different zone coverages. I think our guys are embracing that versatility. But I like what I'm seeing, and Jabril Rawls had a really nice interception today. That's one of those things. The quarterback put the ball in a really good spot, and then he just essentially beat the receiver to the spot, and it was a really nice play. You're excited about that. I think Ricky Knight's a guy. I'm not sure if I've mentioned him. He's worked a lot, kind of the field safety spot, but he's worked bumped out the corner. He had an opportunity with the player that went down, just to kind of get a little bit more reps on the outside. And I like what he's bringing to that. I mean, he's had a good week and a half there, so we get to see him continue to progress. Saturday's going to be big for him, just to kind of show that opportunity there in a scrimmage setting. But I've liked some of the steps that he's taken. But it's a good group, and there's like I said, a lot of competition, and guys are working to kind of define their role.
I guess there's never ideal times with a portal anymore. spring football's still going on, do you have to have conversations with guys like leading up till tomorrow, or you just?
No, I mean, it's, there's, as I would say, there's not a whole lot of surprises that happen, and but there's a whole lot of real conversations, and so, ultimately, I mean, we're working through. There's work to be done, and definitely, I know there's some guys that are going in the portal, and all supporting them in their journey of where they're going and what that'll be. But I'm excited about the work that we have in front of us here these next two practices, and obviously finishing with the scrimmage. But I mean, it's work time. So.
Kirk, you talked Friday last we talked to you about some guys trying to back the offensive line, maybe that group getting healthier. But who in that group with so many guys who were down for a while, you can really take advantage of that opportunity, maybe more reps presented? Yeah,
I mean, I think it's been really good. We talk about a couple of guys that came in. Luke Pettibone and Adrian Medley have been really good. I mean, they've shown versatility. I mean, the toughness they put on display has been really, really good. The leadership, the encouragement. I've seen real positive strides. From guys within that room. I think Otto's another guy that's coming along. I think Lucas Simmons really this last week, week plus. I'm seeing some good strides for him. Still looking for that the consistency in it. Jonathan Daniels has shown up and got some good work within that. I think Terrence Ferguson has really battled. He got rolled up earlier in spring, and but I mean, it really has pushed himself. Trying to take that next step, elevating his game, and I think he's putting himself in a good spot. And definitely excited about the group that we have. And the work that they're pouring into it. We've had some guys, like I said, we've had a good number of guys that at that position have kind of either went down or missed a significant time this spring. So I mean, we'll have a lot of work to do, but I like with the progression that I've seen from those guys.
Corey, with the current calendar and like you talked about the portal opening tomorrow while you're doing spring practice, as a coach and as somebody that's putting together a roster, is this audition tryout's not the right word, but you can get a sense of what your team might still need? And are you always looking at that while you're watching practice? Like, okay, we could maybe use somebody here, and here. And I mean, it's probably be adding people.
I mean, it's something we'll always be evaluating. If there's an opportunity to make your team better, if there's an opportunity of where you might have a position that could be enhanced with the competition, but it all has to fit. It all has to be right. I'm excited about the position battles that we've had. I'm excited about the guys and what they're how they're developing. But it's something that yes, I mean we get a really good sense of kind of where we are with a summer in front of us and fall camp. And so if we have a feel that we can go get better and with the right situation, then we will.
Is that more beneficial when you have two guys? Sorry, 2 for 1. Sorry, Derek.
It was just totally. He didn't care. He doesn't care. No, go ahead and take full control over this.
Is it more
awesome.
beneficial when you have 2 new coordinators?
Can I answer that question?
Come on, Derek, one time.
Okay.
Is it more beneficial when if you have 2 new coordinators who haven't seen these players up close?
Oh, I think I think it's having the two new coordinators, and multiple different position coaches. I mean, it is a say fresh start. I mean, you guys can go out there and you can watch film on what they were, but work is work, and guys that have spent an extraordinary amount of time in the off season, making the investment to be bigger, stronger, faster, to trying to master the craft, learning a new system. There's some, I do. Intentionally, you try to have coordinators that are going to be able to fit things to the guys that you have, and I think that both Gus and Tony have done a great job of tying what we're doing schematically right now to try to fit around the players that we have and what that can look like playing to their strengths, and so it has been exciting in that regards. But yes, I mean every player has a fresh start, and you can say what you want to be or what you think you are, or maybe what you were, but what you see is who you are. And I mean that's where guys getting their first spring or session of, actually having to go out there and play football. I mean, that's what needs to show up. And, obviously huge evaluations when it comes to that. It's something to continue to work through.
We got two more, Brendan.
With the portal opening tomorrow and how closely are you paying attention to the House ruling and I guess how you're building the
Yeah.
roster and trying to plan and balance?
No, it's all, everything's, there's a lot of management of all of it, so yes, paying attention to the House ruling, got, pretty, I guess that there is an expectation of what's going to happen. And, obviously if anything is different, then you adapt, adjust. The portal, seeing what it is, if there are opportunities to improve, if there's guys that, that open doors of opportunity. So we'll see what all that looks like and just continue to work through each day.
Ira, last one.
When Tony White was talking last night at the booster function, he made a comment about there was a play in the scrimmage where it wasn't a good defensive call, but guys either got off blocks or got up off the ground and still made the play. The video you guys put out showed looked like Roy Dell was a good second effort. Are you seeing more of that on both sides of the ball as the spring goes on?
Yeah, no, I think we talked about this, just throughout spring. It's the mentality is what matters. It has to be, there has to be the investment, it has to be the work, there has to be the intensity. Those things they need to be non-negotiables. And, we're either going to demand it as a coaching staff, players are going to embrace it and encourage it, as a team. And then you get a chance to, to be able to see full capabilities on display. You can have all the talent out in the world, but if you're not willing to lay it all out there with your effort, with the investment, with the sacrifices you got to make, then it's just it only take you so far. And so it has been a big focus for us. I know that we have a coaching staff that is very demanding, and it's also affirming when we see it done the right way. And I think those are all things that we have to continue to see and expect from this team. I know I've mentioned I want to feel Florida State football. There is a standard of what that looks like and what that needs to be, and we're pushing towards that.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you guys. Have a great night.